Old man here again to tell you some old man things. Everybody lies, and if there's a monetary reward for lying, there's an increased chance that somebody's going to lie. Now, everybody doesn't lie all the time. They lie about certain things at certain times, depending on the situation. And again, if there's a monetary reward, the chance that they're going to lie increases. And there's a monetary reward for someone making a video, me making a video, any video you see on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram, on X, on whatever social network you go to. They're trying to get clicks, likes, views, so that they can monetize what they're doing somehow. Whether that is getting direct revenue from YouTube through premium subscribers, or from getting ad revenue from YouTube, or from having sponsors on YouTube. Same on Twitch. Same, I don't know how much Instagram and TikTok are monetized in that way, but sponsors definitely. And if you see stuff in the background that is branded, often those are sponsors. These aren't sponsors of board games that I bought. I'm just saying that if you see a Coca-Cola can or Mountain Dew or like these big brands, and for whatever reason, you know, some energy drink is sitting on a shelf behind someone, or on like a little side table, there's probably a sponsorship there. So they're making money is what I'm saying. And if they aren't yet making money, they are trying to move their way to making money, including myself and anybody that you see on YouTube. Their motivations are not entirely just to provide information. Their motivations are to provide information for monetary gain. That's capitalism, baby. That's wonderful. Some, however, are willing to ignore things because they want more clicks, more views, and by ignoring certain things, they can create an entertaining video that will do better in the algorithm, right? And therefore get them towards the monetary gain that they want. So they ignore things, and they intentionally maybe avoid things when they're researching, or don't research, or whatever. They don't bring in information that might, prevent them from their goals. So they're not necessarily lying, they're just avoiding the truth, right? They're avoiding finding the truth. They just want to talk in an off-the-cuff way. I talk in an off-the-cuff way. And my stuff is based on stuff that I watch, stuff that I read, stuff that I learn along the way. I try, I'm not going out of my way not to learn new things, but I'm not also, a deep researcher. I'm not a reporter, a journalist, or whatever. So a journalist should do as much research as possible, and a journalism channel should have a research team and should get as much of the correct information as they can. And not everyone can get it right. Not everyone can understand everything, and not everyone has all the information. So that's fine. But there are others that know something and they omit it because they don't want the narrative to be whatever they want that it's going to be because of that information. They want a different narrative, so they know this thing and they don't talk about this thing. That's getting close to a lie. And then there are things that they just say and they know that it's not true. Now, who's doing this? It's difficult to tell sometimes. Sometimes it's easy to tell. There are, various YouTubers, and everyone can determine this themselves, and I don't need to be the one calling out this person or that person or this person. It doesn't need to be in the comments. I'm just letting people know, if you're watching a YouTube video, that you shouldn't just trust it implicitly. And I hope everyone, for the most part, knows this at this point in time. But just because someone's sitting in front of a camera and they're saying something doesn't mean that they're telling you the truth. Doesn't mean that they're telling you the whole truth. The truth as they know it, or that they've bothered to check on the truth, or that they're not outright lying, right? So just so you know, you see stuff and you form an opinion, but form the opinion based on what you know to be true and other information that you've gotten, not just from this person. Go seek other sources. And especially, it's good. There's a thing in history where you talk about, Alexander the Great, and historians say he did this. Now, one of the reasons why they'll say that is not just because the people that worked for Alexander the Great or were around Alexander the Great, his friends, his generals, his, the governors or whatever, not because they wrote those things down, and not because the historians that were around him wrote those things down, because his enemies wrote those things down, right? And they corroborated it. So those people had every reason to paint him in a negative light, and then the people around him had every reason to point him in a positive light. And if you can find some sort of kernel of information that the two things connect with, then you're getting closer to the truth. So if you see something on YouTube that you can't verify for yourself to be true, as in you didn't see it, hear it, or you weren't there for it, then maybe try to find someone who doesn't like the other YouTuber and often goes against them and see what they say about it. And then maybe you'll be able to find the kernel of the truth. And then, of course, there's other people who have no association with that YouTuber or that Instagram person or that Twitch person. And are they saying similar things? Is this web page saying certain things? And then the more sources and the more information you get, the better you can get closer to the information that you need. And that's kind of what's important, is you want the information, you want the entertainment, but if the entertainment has information that you're going to act on, then you need as much of it as possible and as many different sources as possible. And I'm making this video because I was watching, different YouTubers involving CCGs and games and that kind of stuff, and they have a certain way they want to talk about things, and then you'll go to another YouTuber and they have a certain way they'll want to talk about things, but those things are in conflict and both things can't be true. And if you only watch one YouTuber, you'll have a worldview based on that YouTuber. But if you watch a lot of YouTubers and TikTokers, Instagram people, read websites, read the news, that kind of stuff, you'll have a better holistic view of everything. And you won't be hoodwinked into thinking a certain thing is true, and you'll be less likely to be scammed by people who are outright scamming you, because there's a lot of people out there that are on social networks and making videos, streaming, doing other things, and the whole purpose is to scam as many people as possible. Obviously the most obvious ones are the people trying to sell you a course on how to be wealthy, or the people, basically selling you some new, crypto, and it's going to be a rug pull, right? And there are some YouTube creators who have done that, and people got scammed out of it. And, to many people, that's obvious what was going to happen. But to other people, it isn't. And that's kind of what this video is for. To let you know that just don't trust people just because they're behind a camera. Don't assume that they're saying something that's true because they have no reason to lie about it, because there is a reason to lie. Money. There's always money. So if they have a consistent record of telling the truth and not saying things that are easily provable as wrong, then maybe you can trust them a little bit more than someone who you don't know anything about yet, right? So you can determine that for yourself. It's fairly easy once you get enough experience. And that's just what I kind of wanted to do. I wanted to let you know that you can discern the truth by varying the source. And that's all I wanted to let you know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day.